Hey everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. Well, it's another day here. It's Saturday, November the 2nd, I do believe. I'll bring you along today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, get the loader back running again. Finally got the injection pump rebuilt. I didn't film any of the pulling that off. I'll try to get a little bit of filming putting it back on. I got to redo some fittings at the tank. I went back with a sediment bowl. I'll throw a card up here what all I had to do back when it broke down on me down there in the field, and changed a few things up, but I'm gonna try to put it back original since the pump's rebuilt now. It's got its own lift pump built into it, so it's basically gravity flow. So it had a sediment bowl there from the factory. I think that's what was on it before. We got that piece of plastic out of the tank, so get a little bit of footage. It's dark in the barn, so I don't know how the lighting will be, but hopefully we'll get to hear the old Allis crank up and run today. The bees are, you know, here or there. I've seen some yellow jackets still around, but a couple nests that I knew. I don't see any flying in, so I'm not sure if the frost we had a couple weeks ago got them, but we're gonna hit the ground running here before too much longer with doing some clearing and opening some fields up for a little bit more acreage for next year. See what we can get into today. So you can see that here's what we started out with. Here and put it on the shelf. So had the sediment bowl in it, and it just came out, had a 90. So went back with a new one, and hopefully we can do the same thing. This one had 2 ports on it, but I just got a block off plate there, and we'll hook the line straight up. Kind of very dark over there, but that was kind of an apparatus that I rigged up to put a ball valve on it, just so I could cut the fuel off, and we're doing away with that now with the sediment bowl, so it should be go back to normal and fuel line drop down in that slot just like it's supposed to. We'll try to run it in some heavier rubber line inside the line so it doesn't rub on anything and go up through the belly and come up low it's supposed to be. So hopefully this will be the last time we have to deal with anything with the fuel issue now that we got the tank cleaned and cleaned out and got that plastic out of it, new sediment bowl, injection pump redone. So let's get started. Well, this is something I've been dreading in a sense. There's nothing easy to get to work on this loader. We've been through that before. Such a tight area here, but this is a temporary line that I tried to get going once I figured out I think the pump was bad. So we're gonna take all this loose, and this is the apparatus I was showing you a while ago that I put on, which was fine, but like I said, we're gonna do the sediment bowl, and it should sit right here and be able to come right out and the line go down like it's supposed to. That's the way it was originally. If I don't hang myself on the gear shifter here. Nice. I bet there's gonna be fuel in the tank too. Let me look in the tank. And I got the line fished through down here. Buddy's grabbing a couple of jugs. I'm gonna put a gallon jug and see if I got enough gravity there to drain what I sucked out most of it when we were what I use that diesel fuel for. I don't remember what I used the diesel fuel for. Maybe to oil the loader up, I mean the gleaner combine head or something like that. I can't remember. I didn't want it to sit in here, you know, too much longer. It doesn't smell the best as it is. So get the rest of this out, get the sediment bowl over there, and then figure out how I'm gonna run this fuel line in a protective case, get that finished up, and then we'll start putting the injection pump on. So I won't bore you with this. I'll bring you back when we start getting the pump on. Excuse my boot and the screen there, but we got the sediment bowl in, turned it upside down. Got the fuel line ran. It's in 3/4 inch hose, so we don't have to worry about any heat or rubbing marks or anything. Hopefully this will be the last time, like I said. So do a little bit of adjusting on the brake over there on the right hand side while I've got this many plates off, see if we can get any more travel out of that, and then we'll move on to putting the injection pump on. Well, we made it to this point finally. Got the hose routed in the big 3/4, like I said. Got to change the fuel filter. Got to change the umbrella seals down there on the shaft. Clean the injection lines up a little bit, and show you the pump. not near as bad as what I thought it was going to be, so I'm not complaining. Fingers crossed everything goes good. Get a rag ready and put over the air intake and say a little prayer and hope for the best. I'd like to get that unit running today and out, greased up and ready. Hit the fields here soon. We've been exceptionally dry, and I would like to do a little clearing before it gets too awful wet. See what we can do. Well, we're gonna call it a day. I did get you a clip after we cranked it over and got some fuel in the pump, got some smoke, so that was the first crank up you saw. It's runs really good, fires right up, but it's still cutting off. I don't know, I can't remember, it's been so long now exactly. I don't have the electric pump on it anymore. You know, like I said, the pump should be built into the injection pump the way I understand it, so we're back to the drawing board on doing some more research, and we'll call the guy that rebuilt the pump and talk to him about it. Didn't really get a whole lot of information when we picked it up, other than the fact the fuel was turned way up on it. So we'll see what we got going on, and I'll bring you guys along for some more. But loader's back running, so we're one step closer. It's got to be something simple now with the injection pump, new lines, new sediment bowl, all that worked out. So just got to see if we got to put an electric pump back in it or something. So we'll figure it out. Stay tuned. Okay, so you've probably seen it does run. Cranks right up, actually runs good, but it dies right off the bat. I mean, within about, I don't know, 10-15 seconds. So I'm not sure what the problem is, to be honest with you. I don't think it's anything in the injection pump. I've kind of narrowed it down to two situations. It's either going to be a blocked up return line, and I shied away from that because I blew all that out when it broke down on me, you know, thinking, you know, that something was wrong there. A couple people told me that that glass ball might have disintegrated, but it's sat here for a while with the injection pump off. I don't think I would have gotten any bees or wasps or anything in it to build a nest, but before I go doing the second item, we're going to blow a little bit of air back through it, make sure I can hear it in the tank, and go from there. And I might crank it up and just make sure I'm getting good fuel out of the return line, out of the pump. I got fuel falling out of the line there, so I don't think we're having any trouble with it being blocked up, but we're going to try it and see. So let me get some air put in here. If that doesn't work, I'll try to crank it up again. If that doesn't work, then we go on to situation number 2. Well, let's try this again, get you guys on camera. Excuse me, dusty. I did have a blockage in the return line, and I'm really upset with myself at this point. But let's see if that makes any difference before I get really mad. But giving it some glow plugs. Like I said, it was about 31 last night, so see what it does. It cranks up good, just doesn't stay running. Well, that was it. It's been running for about 5 minutes. So here is what it is after it's been running. Alright, let me get some tools up so Mom and Dad can feed the cats and I'll explain to you what I figured out. And hopefully the next time you see it, we'll be doing some clearing with it. Runs like a sewing machine. All right, we're gonna try to make this as quick as possible. What I think happened with the loader and the pump. So last year when it broke down, of course it sucked that piece of plastic down the sediment bowl. It basically, I feel like burnt the injection pump up, starving it for fuel. So at that point in time, I didn't know. We removed the plastic, we cleaned the tank out, blew the return lines out, ran a new external fuel line, filters, everything. Could not get it to stay running. I mean, it would run for 2 or 3, 4 minutes and then die. Like basically just like you were cutting the fuel off. So I figured out, talking to people, that it was either the return line glass ball, possibly some people told me to bust that out, just be careful, or you know, that would buy me a little bit of time for the injection pump. I said, you know what, we're just going to rebuild it. So pulled it off. Me and Dad had it rebuilt, got it back, super excited about it. You've seen that in the first part of the video. We went ahead and put the sediment bowl back on, a new one like it's supposed to, ran the line in the protective housing, got everything together, cranked it up. Didn't take long to get the air out of the system, and it ran like a sewing machine for about 30-45 seconds and died. And it cut off more or less like a carburetor motor loading up, more so than starving for fuel. So like, what in the world? And of course I was petrified about it running away, you know. So I was leery about everything, but talked to several people back and forth about it. Couldn't get a hold of the guy that built the pump. Still haven't tried to call him back. He's had some issues with his landline phone. But anyway, long story short, when Logan was here the other day, we went around and looked at it. He was talking to me about it a little bit. He said he had issues with his Rooster Master on a John Deere, the return line. And I, you know, kind of passed it off because I had blown all that out last year. Well, I said, you know what? I thought that what the problem was, it needed electric pump back on it. Built-in lift pump in the back of the Rooster Master, but it always had electric pump on it. So I figured it was just starving for fuel again. So got a new pump, you know, everything going to do that this afternoon. I said, you know what, I'm going to take Logan's advice. So I took the line off, blew into it, couldn't get it to blow in the tank. Went to the next connection, same thing. Went all the way to the tank and took it loose, blowing through the line. I got clean air once I took it loose from the tank. So long story short, basically there was some kind of blockage from the inlet on the tank up to where it drops in. I don't think that's what it was at first. When I was doing the video a while ago, I thought that maybe, you know, I had forgotten to do that last year. But after thinking back on it, watching my own video from then, it was running totally different than this time. So basically what it was doing, building up pressure, and you know, the fuel couldn't go anywhere. And I think I attribute that to the crappy fuel we have nowadays, how it rusts everything. So I think it just rusted that return line, being sitting empty, not submerged in fuel, the vapors from it, and clogged it up. So we got it cleaned out, sprayed some cleaner in there, flushed it all out, sprayed some air in, put the return line on. You saw it fire up. So we're good to go on that. So stay tuned for some LED light work. Next thing you'll see, and we'll go from there. I've babbled long enough. See you tomorrow. So I don't really even know what you can see and what you can't. It's so dark back here in the barn. But these are the same ones, like I said, we put in before. I'll put a link in the description. They're very, very bright and cheap off Amazon. I've had really good luck with them so far. So that's basically what it looks like. It's a floodlight, not a spot. So I'm thinking that maybe out the front it'll do pretty good as far as the flood. And then I've got let's see, I just pushed up through the hole. Where did it go? Hang on. Oh, there it is. I've got these. I would use these on boats before. They're pretty bright. We put 2 of those on the back so I can watch after what I'm clearing, or what I'm getting ready to run over, rather. You guys are getting all kinds of good camera angles today, aren't you? A little rusty on the filming, honestly, and my hands aren't working very well with the cold weather, or cold here. I think we got snow in the mountains of North Carolina, which is not what they need right now. But anyway, that's it. So it gives it kind of a shadow, if you will. And I got factory wires over here on this one. Hook those up, and then go to the other side and rewire it, do the same thing, and bring it back. Okay, well, naturally that didn't turn out as planned. Nothing ever does to me. The lights up top, we've never had them working on this. They had them underneath the canopy there, and they basically shine right down to the center of the loader, and that's not really where you need the light, because all you can see is the top of your bucket. So I moved them to the outside. I think I got to adjust them down a little bit. Won't be able to tell till we get it outside. If I tear them off, I do. That's on 1/4" plate there, so I just have to replace the light. But took a chance on that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put those other flat lights or not. There's one up in the corner there, I don't know if you can see it or not, that's in a housing, and I may just go ahead and change it out with the same par 36 lamp, because I wired it back in and it's working now with a, you know, cheap halogen. So we may just do that for right now and see what happens. And naturally I use white zip ties instead of the black ones. So, well, you might can hear Jack rustling around over there. I think I'm aggravating him. Finally I get to aggravate him because he's ready to go to bed. But had to unhook the barn light, so this is the first time I've seen it in the pitch black. So there's off and there's on. So should give me plenty of room down to see around the edge of the track on both sides. Once the bucket's down, I think that'll do fine, and I can spin you around here without making you sick. You can see how dim that one is compared to the ones in the front, so we'll definitely just put us a par 36 back there and call it good for now. Well, it's not any better for lighting this morning than it was last night, but we got to get the grill back in, get the side panel on, get everything greased up, track tightened up, check all the fluids over again, and I think we're going to head down here at the bottom and do a little clearing. So I'll start another video on that, but let's see if we can get this unit wrapped up and moved out of the barn under its own power finally after a year, and go from there. Hopefully my camera holds out. Keep your fingers crossed. Made it to the back, guys. Highways in the background. We'll start down here and do some clearing, so we'll go ahead and start a fresh video on that. Everything seems to be going pretty good on the loader. I got the tracks adjusted, got the grill back on, everything's greased up, fluids are topped off, full of fuel. So buddy's here. He's gonna bring the 180 down to help push with a little bit. I do miss the Oliver at times doing this. 1086 is okay, but I don't have those tilt cylinders fixed yet. Imagine that. I need to get that done, but we'll try to clear an area here so I can get my debris up here along the property line and go from there. So hopefully you've enjoyed it up to this point. I'll keep you posted on how the little Allis Chalmers goes. I'm really hoping that we've got all the fuel issues taken care of, and still got the problem with the steering clutch, but we'll make do the best we can. So stay tuned if you're interested in some clearing, because that's where I pick up the next video. Thank you everybody for following on a journey with me. I really appreciate that. We'll see what happens. Keep your fingers crossed. Till then, thank you.